and welcome to this week's episode of Talking Skritt, a Guild Wars 2 podcast sponsored by Gamebreaker Nation about everything in and around Tyria. I'm your host, John, better known as Deo, around Yak Spend. We have a fantastic show for you today. Pre-purchase and all the drama that it came with, guild halls announced, big patch inbound, and much more. But first, let me introduce you to my fellow hosts. He is a moderator over at MMO Champion, and once HOT comes out, he will find a million ways to die in the West. Say hello to Jim.
I think you repeated that one.
Yeah, but it still fits. I'm starting to run out of movies. He's got to do more work. You got to talk to him.
You got one coming out. Selfless.
I think I'd used that last week. Or the week before. But, I don't know. Let us know in the comments. A writer for Gamebreaker. She's feeling a little under the weather, but soldiering on, waiting to go berserk on today's topics. Say hello to Robin.
Hey.
And a writer for Guild Mag has been gone for a little bit. I think he's been busy making all the money to make it rain mail carriers. Say hello to Aaron.
That's not in any way true.
Come on, before you took the break, you told me you wanted to become the Oprah of mail carriers. You wanted to run around in-game going, and you get a mail carrier, and you get a mail carrier.
Yeah, no, that's it.
I swear I heard it. It's a thing, people.
Well, you did put those mail carriers that Deo got you in the guild bank for prizes.
Well, no, he sold it and put the money in.
And then people said they would give them back to me, so I sold them and put the money in instead.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's jump right into it. E3 just happened this past week, and
oh god,
I mean, Guild Wars or ArenaNet went to it and talked about guild halls, which we'll get into. But at the very end, they announced a pre-purchase that was happening that night, which was Tuesday, and there were mixed signals, I guess. Like, there was... It was very much take it or leave it. It seemed like a very polarizing topic, surprisingly, for a pre-purchase. I mean, usually pre-purchase is met with enthusiasm. But we do have screens of the price points. And this one right now is the one that was in-game. Like, you can buy through the gem store, but not with gems. That's important to note. But you also see that was the one on the site. The price points are basically basic price is $49.99, and these are all U.S. denomination. Deluxe is $74.99, and Ultimate is $99.99. Now, what do you guys get for basically each version, and why did this cause so much turmoil?
I think a lot of it was caused by the standard and the ultimate editions. Is that what you guys like? That's what I got out of all this drama.
A lot of different things.
Like,
I think the biggest one was that people didn't expect the base to be 50 for some reason, and that made them mad. And then when they found out that new people are getting a game for free, they got even madder because they're like, well, I'm paying for the game twice then. And, you know.
I mean...
Well, I look at it this way, is we've got, what was the box at release? Was it 50 or was it 60?
$59.99 for base.
Okay, so for 3 years of content that is completely, $60 got us 3 years of content for Guild Wars 2, where we didn't have to do anything else for more content. I mean, gems. You don't have to buy gem store stuff. You didn't have to buy the special edition. You got 3 years of content for $60. If they push Heart of Thorns for another 3 years, that's another 3 years of content for $50.
Heart of Thorns is not 3 years worth of content.
Well, you don't
that depends on where the living story goes to.
Living story, though.
Right. So
it's not 3 years of content.
It depends on how long the Morgomoth arc
Last
goes.
one was.
It's at least a year. At least.
Yeah, I give you a year, but not 3. It's not
a year and a half. A year and a half at least. I'm gonna say.
The proposed area just isn't enough.
Well, we've only ever seen the areas in the betas that we've seen so far is just the ground floor. Or
We
is it the
know of
canopy?
2 zones and assuming a third.
Yeah. And we don't know, like, they had been introducing new areas in the living story, and they might continue doing that when they do that as well.
But
so.
I mean, and this, we're technically what, in the canopy or on the ground floor of the jungle with the zones?
All of it.
Okay. So
Yeah, it's
we've
going
just been
to
all
eventually
over.
take place in all of it, but
Yeah.
Okay. But still, I mean, generally speaking, the areas we had in the last PvE beta were pretty damn big.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of room for them to do stuff.
Well, I mean, the map as a whole is big. The area we got to play was minuscule.
Yes, we haven't
to
seen all
keep
of it.
things
and to be fair, it was
focused.
minuscule for just the map we saw. If you watched the whole map, it was like I think you might have made half if you explored it, and not even all of that was active.
And I can agree with Carnifex is that, you know, if it's worth 50 hours of play, I mean, that's what you don't even get 50 hours of play out of a lot of, like, big console AAA titles anymore.
Well, 50 hours of play in an MMO is very different from 50 hours of play in not an MMO, though.
I'll give you that. But it's one of those things where we're going to get at least a year and a half, maybe a year to 2 years out of the Heart of Thorns story. And that's $50 for a year to 1 to 2 years of content. I'd call that worth it, just in general.
Now, I think the biggest gripe with it was the base price is $49.99, and it says, this is where it gets awkward. It says it comes with the core game, which a lot of veteran players are saying, well, is there a version where it doesn't have the core game? But they later state that the expansion is $50. And I think if you watch Win Potato's video about this, he actually, I guess maybe a lot of press people might have got an early flyer, because I could not find this page where it said it exactly. Whether it was altered later or not, I don't know. But it said it was almost like a pre-purchase bonus. Like, if you order during the pre-purchase thing, you get the core with it. So whether that's changed now or what, but the base price for the expansion is $50, whether you have get the core or not. So people are thinking it should be $30 without the core game.
No, it should be 40. That's what I think. I think 50 is too much. I don't think we should get something to compensate us for not getting the base game. I don't think they should have bundled the base game with it, though. I think that was where the mistake is. They should. I think the beta access should be the pre-purchase bonus. I think that's enough.
I think it's a valid point that your current players are the most likely people to pre-purchase, and people who don't play the game at all are the least likely to pre-purchase. So by giving them that extra, you're exponentially increasing your potential buyers for it.
But
So
you're
I think that was
you're also pissing off your player base and undermining previous
I'm
sales.
sorry, like, there are some people who are going to be pissed off and won't buy it, but come on, most people are still going to buy it.
Well,
like,
and
it's ridiculous.
Here's the solution, though. Make the X-Pack by itself $40 and then bundle it with the core game for $50. That way new players still get an excellent deal on the original game.
But the expansion is priced at $50.
Like, it's ridiculous.
I know, that's what I'm saying. The solution is price the X-Pack at $40. That's what they didn't do. That's why this is a screw-up.
I don't think that's necessary.
Because I think a lot of people are looking at 40
or given us all an extra character slot. I can agree with that one, but, like, no. I feel like 50 is a fair price for the expansion.
Well, you're mentioning character slot, and we were talking about the base price of $50. They also have other versions that you saw in the image I showed. They have the deluxe one, which is set at $74.99. They actually put a video out that kind of shows off the different items. So let's... Hopefully it'll... the first thing will be a Ritlock Mini. It's the Ritlock Revenant Mini, so it has the blindfold and the armor. He'll go on further to talk, but he shows off that's the Revenant finisher that you'll get with it. And definitely after this, I want to hear everybody's thoughts, even in chat, about these ones. The next one they're going to show is the glider skin that you're going to get, which is the Heart of Thorns glider skin. It's just called. Okay, I didn't know if it had a special name.
Ooh, it's green.
And so you could definitely see it had a trail on it. The last couple things are the Morgemoth's Bane Guild Hall decorations, and there's you only get to pick one, but it's a set of 3, and you get to see them, like the Wyvern Head. The other one was a Vine Wall, and the other one's the Legionnaire Copter, I believe is the term for it, but it's the
that's creepy.
It's the Char.
It's a packed helicopter.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like I said, either version you pick, and these are the deluxe, which is $74.99, and the ultimate you get all this stuff as well, for basically
$100, $99.99.
$99.99, but that includes an extra 4,000 gems. I mean, what do you guys think of those price points, and what do you think of the stuff that you're getting in those bundles themselves?
I think the middle one is completely pointless because, like, to me, it doesn't make sense getting the middle one. Like, if you're already going to spend that much, you might as well just do the ultimate if you can afford it for the gems. Like, I can't imagine if you have the money and you're already spending that much, how it makes sense not to get the ultimate. Like, the middle is just pointless.
If you don't want to spend an extra 25, if 75 is what you're comfortable spending, then spend. I'm not going to buy the ultimate.
But I'm saying you need, like, it might be a good short-term thought, but, like, if you in a year will buy 4,000 gems, like, that's a bad choice for you because you're going to end up spending more money in the long term. Like,
the issue is, can you drop the money right now?
And that's the ultimate thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't, then fine. But I'm saying just assuming you have the money, looking objectively at each one, the middle one is completely, like, I wouldn't have put that one out there. I feel like.
Yeah, and I was going to say, let's establish that for the groundwork is, let's assume you have the money to buy all of them. Like, the money's not the issue. It's, like, what's the best deal out of it. And when we talk about, like, the...
Monetarily, it's the ultimate, which is the best deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think the problem is actually the ultimate and not the deluxe. I think the ultimate, just throwing gems at it is so lazy. Like, yeah. I think that's so lame.
I feel like it would have been better if they had done the base at 50, had no middle, and the ultimate instead has what it has, but be put at like 80 instead. I feel like that would have been a good deal and made sense. And I think both should have had extra character slots for existing players.
And yeah, I'm going to agree with Chad. The only reason I'm really looking at the ultimate is because I would rather just spend, like, the stuff that the deluxe gets, the stuff other than the character slot, is kind of meh to me. I can't remember what the actual value of another character slot is, but
$800.
$10.
So $10.
$10. Okay, so you were saying, you know, $15, but the extra stuff, it doesn't seem worth $15 to me, but hard value, you've got the base game at $50, you've got the $50 worth of gems at $25, and then you've got the character slot. So you've got at least $85 worth of stuff in there, or it'd make that like $110 worth of stuff in the ultimate. And I do kind of, there was one thing you kept bringing up, Aaron, is that it was kind of lazy for them to just tack on gems to the ultimate. But at the very least, they're putting it on for a very big sale price.
Yeah, they gave us a good price people are ignoring. Yeah, they gave a good price on it. Like, the difference between the deluxe and the ultimate is only $25, and 4,000 gems would cost you $50 normally.
Yeah,
so that's why it's a good deal.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's a bad deal. I'm saying it's uncreative.
Yeah, I was saying
and I'm not
it's a good deal, but as a collector's edition or a limited edition, like a thing, it's very lackluster of a.
Especially when the first one came with like a giant statue of Ritlock, as seen behind Arlie.
Well, and to be fair, that's a physical one, which unfortunately they're saying they aren't going to make physical collector's editions for anyone.
How big is that thing? Is that like a foot tall?
A little more than a foot.
That's
it's 18 inches, isn't it?
Something like that.
It's a life-size mini Ritlock.
Yeah,
kind of like what you
18
get
inches. I measured it with my foot.
Okay.
It's a cubit.
But yeah, I think the big issue was the whole idea of bundling the core game with it, and a lot of people are basing it on other MMOs, other games that have usually their expansions are $39.99. And you can go back. I probably thought the price point was $39.99. This is for me, it's very much in like the bell curve of, for me, acceptability. And like I said, that's just me. That's how life goes. You have to judge for yourself whether you feel $50 is worth it. I mean,
well, and that's the difference between what I've been saying and what you've been saying is when I say that I think it should be 40, I'm saying that from the perspective of the average consumer. For me, I'd buy it for $200 because I know I'm going to get thousands of hours out of it. That's me. But I think on the basis of the average person, I think 40 would have been a smarter price point.
but
Yeah,
I
didn't
mean,
you?
go
I
ahead.
saw when JV in chat said that they would pay $50 for the guild halls alone. I was like, yeah, there's somebody who perfectly agrees with you, Aaron.
Yes, the guild halls and guild changes alone to me would be worth $50.
Amazing.
I would have
Yeah.
bought
I'm
that
still mad
customizable
at,
arena.
I'm still
Segue.
mad at everybody who made a fit about there needs to be an expansion and is now throwing a fit because I told them 2 years ago if there was an expansion it wasn't going to be pure content like they wanted, and this is what we got.
Well,
I think the complaints about the price and about the pre-purchase bonus are valid, but I don't think they're a big enough deal to throw the fit about that people have been.
Yeah,
They're very
it's
minor.
out of
Valid complaints.
ratio.
They're just
Yeah.
the severity of the complaining is.
well, yeah, and that's the important thing. From my stance at least, and I think a lot of people agree. Like I've listened to a lot of podcasts over this week just to try to hear what everybody's been saying about it. I think everybody's basically trying to say that it's fine to disagree with the price, but to go on this like crusade of sorts saying like, do not buy this because I don't want to buy it. Like, let other people judge for themselves. Like, present the
I
information
saw
as
one person. No,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
no. It's,
There was one place I saw somebody said that, you guys have valid points for yourself. I personally already bought it. And somebody replied to that guy legitimately saying, oh, wow, you need to watch out because you might end up playing the expansion by yourself. And I was like, seriously? Do you really think that's likely?
No.
Like, let's be honest, ArenaNet is rolling in money this week.
Yeah. I was like, that's
And to
not,
be fair,
no.
I'd like to be the only one there because Arena would be the type of people to be like, hey, let's go play with this guy so he doesn't feel left out. I'll play with all the ArenaNet devs. Come on, guys. Like,
Yeah.
After this week, they can build their own Gilded Hollow in real life.
Yeah. Also, whoever the person was who sent Ruby an in-game mail complaining about it just needs to reevaluate
Whoa,
their life
what?
because that's ridiculous.
Okay? What
A lot
is
of
her?
people
Is
have
she
gone-
a community? Like a
She's
community
a
manager?
community content
She's
coordinator.
Yeah, she's different title than she used to be now.
So
Yeah.
she basically just deals with PR with people on forums and stuff. And
Well, she
then
does
on
she
POI.
puts together all the content and runs POI and all of that
Okay.
stuff. She does a
So
lot
basically,
of
she
behind the
has
scenes.
literally zero to do with marketing.
Yeah, no, she has nothing, and she has a personal account, as most of them do, which she,
Right. I
has
actually saw
revealed
Gail
to
Gray
some
the other
people,
day.
and
I did too.
somebody legitimately sent her an in-game mail complaining about how awful it was.
That's
It's
see.
crap.
I guess that's like the same problem that Ghostcrawler got with World of Warcraft.
chat saying
Mhm.
she's the social media coordinator, by the way. So
Okay.
I think she's something different from that now. It's
Yeah,
what she
she's
used to be.
changed. Her
Yeah.
title is different than that now.
Mhm.
It's something content, something or other. Like, literally, when I asked her at PAX East if it was like a 5-word title, her and Elizabeth both have like these massive titles. It's crazy.
they have
Yeah,
business cards that fold out.
I honestly kind of feel bad for anybody for a major game company that has to be like the public face because you get so much shit,
Mhm.
and it takes a very, very strong person to be able to deal with that, I think.
I
Yeah,
was gonna
it's
say- Oh, go ahead.
basically it sucks to have your job be trying to cater to the wanton needs of nerds.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, I stated earlier, I was trying to watch as many of the other podcasts out there, like one that had MMO Inks on. Like I don't know how much of it's true. Like this is just from what I heard him say on the podcast.
Gossip.
Well, no, that like people were even going to him talking about it. It's like how do you think that they're gonna change it? Like it's just, but
Yeah, there are people who have been like calling Bogotter a shill, like all kinds of ridiculous things. It's like
Wow.
crazy.
yeah,
Well,
it's
because
unfortunate
Weird.
that it happened.
People do that because they have the links that they can
Yeah.
pre-order the game. It's like they cover the game. It's
Mm-hmm.
part of
It's
part of
and
their
isn't
thing.
that like how they got big? Like Guild Wars 2 was how their channels
Yeah.
got big. Like
A lot, yeah.
Well,
for them saying like for them to be publicly against the game, that's kind of
I mean,
To
like
be fair-
they've done criticism when they've
Yeah.
done things that they
Right.
didn't agree with. Like they'll say, they don't agree with this, but they're not going to be like, don't buy the game. This is awful. Strike,
Well,
roar.
And
You know?
they're not journalists. They're independent content creators.
right.
Mhm.
But
Like they don't have any like
I would have to say it has been a low in the community, I would say, because of all this.
I guess coming from like I've said it before, a lot of my MMO experience previous to Guild Wars 2 was World of Warcraft. I paid, the World of Warcraft expansions were baseline $40, $39.99 on average, but that's on top of a monthly expansion. When I was talking earlier, and
Monthly subscription.
I'm gonna call you Zivik because I don't know how to pronounce your name with the extra V after the X, but I
was
do
going-
know
Okay.
that Silver Waste could be called 3 years of content, but let's face it, nobody like if companies could get away with
I
that.
don't think
World
even
of-
Aaron would do that.
World of War, yeah, Aaron got burnt out on chest farming, and we've made fun for
About 5 months for me was the.
Yeah.
was the
And I was gonna
burning
say,
point.
before we move away from this, chat does bring up a good point. I did want to mention this, that they have said if you did buy recently and feel like you've
Within
been
the last
gypped
month.
out, like the original game through deals and stuff, do try to contact customer support, and they might give you a refund. It's
Well, to be
There's no
fair, like
guarantee.
the marketing department might not have known they would have done this.
Yeah.
Like with all those sales, like it's not like they were planning to do this.
Well, the
for the
last
past
sale
year.
was back in March. So in the meantime, if you've been playing, like you
Right.
spent $10 and you've
to-
been playing.
to go back
That's
on my-
not that long ago, though.
To go back on my
Pretty
previous
much.
point that I was going when I was going to Zivik's point about Silver Waste for 3 years, if Blizzard could have pulled off one thing for 3 years, then we'd still be rating Molten Core, and they'd still be level 60. But going
didn't
off
they
of
revisit that
$50
content? To be fair,
What's that?
didn't
What was
they?
that, Dale?
Don't they technically raid Molten Core because they increased
Yeah,
it?
because it was for
Temporary.
the anniversary.
Okay.
But $50 for an expansion, even if we only get a year out of it, there's no monthly subscription fee. Like World of Warcraft, if I went 1 month after the expansion came out, I'm already behind what Guild Wars 2 is giving me. So,
and
not
like
to
I said,
mention constant updates, which is a huge deal. Blizzard has been saying since since Cataclysm, that they have been trying to do more frequent updates, and they have failed.
Well, they are doing more often. It's still just,
Kind of crappy.
but yeah, even chat saying like Warlords Draenor was $50.
See, I didn't even buy it, so I didn't know.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. People are saying it should be $39.99 because a lot of games, like a lot of MMOs expansions, were $39.99. That was in an age where games were still $49.99. Now games are $59. It's $10 less.
The market
On
is
the
changing.
other hand, it's a smaller expansion than what we see in normal MMOs.
That we
don't
know
know
of.
that
We
yet.
don't know yet.
I think it's debatable on that because I'm sorry, like especially when we were talking about Warlords, yeah, there's a lot of stuff, but I don't think it's necessarily smaller than that.
The one
I think
thing
it
is
is.
with the way they've been
haven't
unveiling
played it.
the living story with adding
It
zones.
seems like there's a lot in Warlords, but there really isn't.
Yeah, well, since they've been adding zones in the living story, we can't say that there's less content than other MMOs. especially since in Guild Wars 2 they revisit old zones with new content. I mean,
They added
hills and other.
They added
and
2
Lions
zones
Edge.
in the Living Story.
But that's
3.
for
Didn't they add 3?
3. What?
I thought there was 3.
2. Silver Waste and Dry Top.
Maybe it was
Well, how
just
far
the
back are you
staggered
going?
way
If you
they
count the
opened.
Zephyr, I mean, there's the Zephyr Sanctum, but that's not always
Well,
available.
and South
And
Sun.
I guess technically South Sun, but
It depends
nobody
on how
likes
far back you're going. But also they revamped Kessex Hills. They revamped Lion's Arch. They made that a playable zone. They
Don't
put
get me
dungeons
started
in
on
that took
Lion's
them
Arch.
out. And to be fair, other games when expansion comes out, it makes the other stuff redundant and obsolete.
Yeah.
as it stands
Um,
right now,
but-
they can always send us back to other places in the world with the way Guild Wars 2's system is.
But like
I
but
just want to
ultimately,
point out we weren't going to talk a lot about this, and we spent a half an hour on it.
I would
We
say-
have all the other things.
I would say ultimately, remember, it's pre-purchase. You don't have to buy it right now. You buy it all the way up.
Right.
So if there's not enough information for you yet, wait.
That's the thing, though. If you want your beta access, though, you do have to buy now.
If you
Well,
want-
I mean, or you can wait until we don't know when the next one is. So you can wait until literally they say the next one or the day before the
I would
next
assume
one
that they're
on
going to say, pre-purchasers are ending, meh, or the next beta is here, so
Yeah.
get your pre-purchase in. So
Basically, like last time with the original game, they always gave people like a week notice of when the weekend beta was because they want people who are waiting on it but want the beta access to be able to go ahead and buy it so they can get in. They're not going to be like, oh yeah, today's the beta. I mean,
all I
that
know
would
is
be ridiculous.
the next beta, I hope they let us test guild halls because they
that was
gave us
actually pretty smooth, though.
they gave us so much information at they gave us a trailer at E3. Around E3, they gave us so much information. Like
How many, 10 articles
I think it was
on the front page?
6.
like
7,
8
4,
or
and 3, I
something.
think. 7.
Okay.
but
It felt
um
like it was a lot.
yeah, that was actually supposed to kind of be the big topic, but unfortunately the pre-purchase thing
Yeah,
really I think surprised them as well. But yeah, guild halls. Oh man, are you guys excited? Like in general,
I'm super,
it gave
super
us-
excited.
So
Gave
you
us
got an
a
8.5
trailer
out of
for it.
10 from Age. Not bad.
but basically this is the trailer they showed off at E3.
I was dying during this trailer. I was like, oh my god, every moment.
I'm really digging the take it back from the Mordrum kind of thing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I love that that's the beginning. And apparently you're going to have to, that you will get attacked and you'll have to fight them off and reclaim it, repeatedly, which I think is cool.
Oh, wait, no, that's going to be annoying as hell. Come on, let's be
Well,
honest.
it depends on how often it is and how bad it is, but it's
That's going to be
interesting.
obnoxious.
That might be one of the guild, because didn't they say they're going to cycle out the guild missions? That might be one of your guild
If it's a mission, it's okay. I don't want it to be like, oh, stop what you're doing, come to the guild hall, get out of your fractal.
Yeah, I don't think it will be that. That would be
it can't
crazy.
be
I'll
a
say
lot
games have really moved away from that unless they've gone very niche of a
Yeah.
genre, which I don't think Guild Wars 2 can be niche in that kind of an aspect of drop everything you're doing, get here now.
At this point in time, I'm kind of hoping they let us do tower defense kind of stuff with it because I've played those games way too much.
I don't think it's going to be quite that.
But
be really
they're showing
cool.
off one of the guild halls. We do know there will be 2 guild halls that you can choose from: the Lost Precipice and Gilded Hollow.
Mhm.
I mean, I think I forget the description. I think Lost Precipice was more of the underground one with the river running through it, whereas the Gilded
No,
Hollow
I
was
thought
the more
Precipice was
foresty
the-
one.
Yeah, Precipice is on a
Flip
on a
it.
cliff.
Oh, is it the other way
Precipice
around?
is on the
Okay.
cliff, and it's very foresty and stuff, and Gilded
Okay.
Hollow is like a city in a cave underground, and it's
Like I said, there was a lot of information this week.
Hey, I kept it straight.
The Lost Precipice is the one that they've been using for most of the videos prior to
Yeah, I
this
think
one.
it's the most impressive just initially looking because it's they're so vertical and you can fly around
It's
in it.
very
and stuff.
grandiose.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Robin, you were saying you were flipping out, you were writing articles during this time. I was in
trying
teams,
to write about it.
I was
writing about it as I was like, ah!
And yes, Age, just so you know, we have the officers have agreed that we're going to vote.
As a guild,
Yes.
not just us.
No, bribery's welcome. No, I'm kidding.
You guys.
But yeah, I was honestly bouncing in between our different channels. Like I went up and bugged Ixter in Elder Scrolls Online, which then he informed me that the writers for Gamebreaker were also flipping out as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was waiting to be locked in the Guild Wars 2 room because I was like, I need to tell more people. But yeah, let's get into it. How are you supposed to acquire these? Because they gave us
mighty quest.
Yeah, they gave us like 7 articles explaining kind of step by step of how to pretty much build up get your guild built or get your guild hall, build it up, and all that stuff. So, basically, I think we're gonna see when Lion's Arch is rebuilt, there's gonna be a new place called the Guild Initiative. It's a new organization in Lion's Arch that will basically, it sounds like, be instanced and kind of function as your guild hall until you can get a guild hall, or if you don't have the expansion, this is where all the guild stuff's gonna happen.
Well, the stuff that they're taking out of the current UI.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
no,
go ahead.
Just from what Carnifex is saying, generally speaking, they seem to be setting up everything so that your entire guild, if you have a full guild, if you have literally everything, if you have literally every slot full, the way they're making it seem is that everybody in your guild can be on this map.
Yeah, they're setting it up so even for large guilds, everybody can be there, which is insanity.
Even with their scaling event tech, your entire guild should be able to be in this map for the taking of the guild hall.
What I'm wondering is how difficult the mission will be to take it.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
They have to do a lot of massive scaling with it because it is one thing that they really is really important to them is making sure that the relative difficulty for small guilds and large guilds are the same.
Right.
Because I'm wondering is is it going to be explorable dungeon, story mode dungeon, maybe open world meta boss level? I don't know.
Well, that depends because even the
simple as an
open world
event.
meta bosses swing wildly with their difficulties.
Yeah, I mean it could be like Vine Wrath, it could be like an explorable dungeon, it could be like a simple event.
As long as it's not like Shatterer.
Like an event.
I'm hoping
stand
it'll
on the side
be.
of the guy and be fine. Yeah.
I'm hoping it'll be like something along the complexity and difficulty scaling of Vine Wrath. Vine Wrath is like the best meta event they've made for the game.
It is,
Well,
but
the
with
hard thing
something
is
like that, where you're dividing people up to do different things, gets harder when you're at smaller guilds.
I don't think it's going to be dividing your teams.
I didn't mean
I'm talking the relative difficulty.
Mechanically, but just difficulty
Yeah, but what
wise.
makes it difficult is the fact that you have 3 different lanes that are coordinating. That's really what makes that difficult.
Well, they're not really coordinating. You go one after the other.
Sort
I
of,
suppose
but
it
you have
depends
to
on
know what
knowing.
you're doing. And
You just show up and hit things, really.
I guess it depends on knowing which boss you're best suited for. But anyway, because we're talking about Vine Wrath, not guilds.
Well, and the ability to acquire it, like you guys are hinting at, you actually get a contract from this new organization in Lion's Arch, the Guild Initiative, where basically the story behind it is now these people are hiring guilds to do certain things. Well, in this deal, it gives you a contract to go clear out this thing of Mordrum, and Lion's Arch has agreed to give the land to the guild if they can clear it out, hence how you'll get your guild hall. I really like the lore behind it, because they're talking about like the governments and the nations are now relying more on guilds since the pact is kind of split and fractured a little bit, which later on when we talk about more of the guild hall stuff, it really seems like, and I've been talking about this through the week, it sounds like history's about to repeat itself and we're literally going to get Guild Wars 2. Like, this could be the precursor to
The
literally
second
Guild
Guild War.
Wars.
That's what I tweeted about that the other day. I was like, yes, they're finally putting the Guild Wars back in Guild Wars. Like, not that I was one of those people that would complain about that constantly, but it was just cool that they were finally addressing the title of the game and reintegrating it. That was awesome.
Well, I guess like you didn't really do much with the quote-unquote Guild Wars in Guild Wars 1.
Guild
It was
Wars
just
1, the
history,
Guild
right?
vs. Guild was
Just
more of
historical.
a homage to the Guild Wars. This seems
Yeah.
like, because the Guild Wars was basically nations hired out guilds as kind of like mercenary type things, doing what they want, and eventually guilds started fighting over this stuff. So Guild versus Guild. It seems like this might be a precursor for history repeating itself, where it's like, oh,
Precursor
nations
to a
are...
legendary?
Hmm?
Precursor to a legendary?
Yeah, you'll be a legendary guild. No, please no. But it just definitely seems like history's repeating itself, kind of a thing, and Arena kind of does that all like throughout the stories. So you might get like true Guild versus Guild style things eventually. Not promising anything here, like, but maybe down the road.
And just to go with chat stuff, I don't know about the Guild Wars 1 question that Red Wolf has, but I don't know if they're going to do anything with guilds in the living story, if only because the living story seems to be focused around your character.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be kind of awkward for it to involve a PC guild in the living story. It would be interesting, but I don't think they would push it that far, because that would kind of like the living story is kind of like the single player, or at least like the instance stuff. But,
Yeah, and I was gonna answer chat's question, but yeah, originally Guild Wars was supposed to be only PvP. Then they added the story, like they kind of tacked on the story for prophecies, and then it seemed like a lot more people liked. Maybe there was a balance. I'll say there was a balance, but they kind of made better stories for PvE. But
Nightfall was the best.
let's move on to like, we've acquired the guild. We basically cleared out Morgem, touched this magical crystal that is reserved for the guild leader.
guild leaders,
Don't screw it
so
up.
officer ranks might be able to do it too.
Not if I remove that permission. It's just me. Just me.
Yeah, there's gonna be a crystal booping permission. Only this rank can boop the crystal.
But yeah, once you hit this crystal, it's supposed to disconnect the Morgem and Morgemoth from the guild hall to claim it for your own. But once you have that, you got to move on to building. Pimp out your guild hall, basically.
Yes. I was hoping they would have it, and they delivered. They heard me. Hey, guys, I'm going to be going all around the game when these come out.
This is our officer of the interior, Aaron.
Yeah. I'm going to be getting every single decoration unlocked for our guild hall.
I'm going to be campaigning for corgi decorations.
I'm going to be 500 scribing day one. Day one.
Is it? They're adding a new crafting profession? Is that it? Or is this
a new crafting discipline that it seems like is
I'm,
tied to.
I'm jumping
guilds.
ahead. I'm
Yes.
jumping ahead.
We're running
Too
before
excited.
we walk. So yeah, you get, there's going to be new crafting, new currencies. They're removing influence and merits in
Good.
favor of favor.
That was bad.
I like it. But basically, the favor is going to be earned through guild missions, and that's coupled with. They also said you'll need various crafting materials based on what upgrade you go after. So they really didn't talk about that, but it will be donated to the new guild treasury. So I guess it keeps account of all the stuff and will allow you to unlock it as it fills. The other item is Ethereum.
Boo Ethereum.
What, you don't like Ethereum?
It's time gating. It's token time
You had to
gating.
expect that.
Yeah,
I did, but doesn't mean I don't like it.
The point is they had to add some kind of gating mechanic that would allow small guilds and large guilds to progress at a similar rate.
Yep.
because that was, and this is literally the easiest way to do it.
Yeah,
I don't have a
in
problem.
perspective. This is how it works.
As long as the smaller guilds can do it, I don't care. I mean, it makes sense for a smaller guild to take longer, doesn't it? They're smaller.
Well,
Yeah.
but that is
It's
the
gonna take
case.
longer.
But
It
that's
says
the
it's
problem is most of the time it ends up taking so much longer that it gets to the point that what's the point of doing it? You'll never get there. Like,
Then balance it better.
it's the same. It's the same now. It'll take
I mean,
both the same.
I'd like to
I
see
know,
it because
but
it
now
does.
there's arbitrary time gating. That's stupid.
But
There
it does
was going
say
to be arbitrary time gating anyway.
Just talk over them, Dale.
it does say it's generated automatically over time by miners working in your guild's mine. But it says you're able to upgrade the rate at which the Ethereum is generated as well as your capacity to store it. So I'm assuming that's going to be through building certain structures or whatnot. So bigger guilds will be able to probably get these sooner and hopefully speed it along faster.
The
I'm
rate.
kidding.
Well, no, the Ethereum production is the gate. However, upgrades, like they said, are going to require crafting materials donated to the guild treasury.
They also
Larger-
said that the bonuses for speeding it along are going to be very tiny because they don't want bigger guilds to be able to speed ahead and do it way before everybody else.
Well, it all, and we're talking about time gating. We don't know the actual values of the purchases.
Yeah, but I'm
So-
just saying in the blog post they said that the bonuses are going to be pretty minuscule.
Well, that's depending on what minuscule is, depending on what the actual base values are. We don't know any numbers yet.
And
So-
that's what I hate about time gating is there's nothing you can do about it.
That's why it's called time gating.
I know, and that's why it's stupid and lazy.
Honestly,
it shouldn't be
as
in
it-
game design.
As it stands, for MMOs, time gating is horrifically common and over-relied upon. Guild
Yeah.
Wars 2 uses it very little.
Yeah, they
Mm,
really
Okay,
do. Like,
we were
they
talking
use
about
it
Korean
more than
MMO
Guild Wars,
RPGs.
but, like,
Well, yeah, if you go
yeah.
to an extreme, of course.
I've played
most
those, so
others
that's where
use
I'm
it for
coming from with my
everything.
perspective.
I mean, they don't do nearly as much as some, but there is a good amount of it. I mean,
I feel like Guild Wars uses it for everything. Seems like whenever anything comes out, once a day. That's why
Crafting.
why everyone flocked to Silver Waste? Because it wasn't on a daily cap. That's why everybody does that map. And that's why it's so profitable. Because you can do the Vine Wrath all the time.
They did that on purpose, though. They wanted people to go there, so they
I know.
did
That
things
just
to
shows.
put people there.
Well, but that also means that
Exactly.
all of the maps in Heart of Thorns are going to be like that because those were their testing grounds for Heart of Thorns concepts.
Exactly. You want people to do stuff. Don't time gate things.
But that,
Or-
I'm saying they used the other time gates to push people to the one without the time gate. That was the
I know,
point.
but if you didn't have.
But if you didn't
It's-
have
there's-
that,
there's a
people
lot
would be
of stuff-
all over doing all the things. Crazy.
There's
I know.
In the
People
game,
would
you
actually
can't
be
just
playing
remove
the
it.
whole game.
okay.
wrong with
well,
people
I mean,
playing the
this
rest of the
conversation's
game?
gone. This conversation's gone on so long that guess what? We have wasted all the time. We're allowed to build something, but what can we build? The upgrades. They're being divided into. They're based on the buildings that you can build, and it's divided into 6 buildings. One will be the tavern, which will center around socialization and effects. They also talk a little bit about their like upgrades in one of the articles, which is really cool. Like some of the stuff, like if you think about it, the temporary upgrades that we're getting now, like magic find plus 2 experience for X amount of hours or days or whatever. Supposedly these will be permanent things that when you unlock them for your guild, people can go to the tavern and buy like a utility type thing that they can equip that will keep that bonus on them. Which is, I think, is awesome. I mean, it makes it a lot nicer that people can pick these bonuses instead of us relying on like we kind of go through a system of it, but it's nice that they can be like, oh, I need more magic find for this thing. I'm going to throw this one on. Or, hey, I'm leveling up a character. Let me put the plus 5% experience per kill. Am I in chat now getting judged for the segues? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we should all have
Well,
like
you always were judged, but now there's numbers to go with.
now there's a
okay.
scoring.
That would for the YouTube record, that one was a 4.2.
Yeah, it felt
But,
rushed because I know how much time we have and how much.
And
Stuff
yet
we
you're
have to get
still
through.
getting sidetracked.
Yep.
I
Alright.
love the fact that they are removing a lot of the guild consumables. I know we like to
Yeah.
keep we usually try to keep like the 10% magic find running,
Yeah.
but that's like the idea that they're kind of toning that back and making it more on the individual level is fantastic, because then people can actually get what they want. And more permanent. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna go on to the next. What were you gonna?
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say, like, I've looked through the list of what we can build as a guild, and it's like this giant list of, here's some consumables, and we're done with, like, all the permanent upgrades, so.
Yeah.
And the next upgrade, or not next, because I think you can build these at any order you want, but the next one they talked about was the mine, which will be your source of Aetherium. The upgrades for that supposedly revolve around the generation and storage of the Aetherium we were talking about earlier. The workshop, crafting and gathering, the new crafting discipline, the scribe is where this is going to be. For people that don't know, the scribe will be coming with these guild halls, and it seems like you'll be able to craft some of the upgrades, like some of the banners and stuff, they said, as well as decorations. And a cool thing was they were showing off, like you can get some decorations in the world and then upgrade the look through this scribe. What do you guys think about that? And Aaron, what do you think, since you want to be our decorator for the guild hall?
Oh yeah, no, this is my mission. To go around Syria and get every single one unlocked. And I hope there's a billion. Like, I don't want there to be like 10 decorations that we can do. There needs to be 10 trillion decorations for me to go get for a guild hall.
This is
So I can
this is
put
going
all
to
of
be
them.
this is going to
we're
be like a big
basically going to be pack rats.
Yes.
Actually,
Yeah, we're gonna have all the maxed out skins, all the sweet ones. I will break the bank to buy all the gem store ones.
From what I'm not sure how they've said, but like the way they're making it seem is that it's kind of like an ammo system where like you have to unlock multiple, like for the Mordremoth's Bane deluxe, like the deluxe edition bonuses, the items. Do you have to have multiple people to have multiples of them select it,
Or you buy the game 3 times and select a different one each time.
Thank you.
You have fun with that. But Chad is asking, is it confirmed that it's a new crafting discipline? That's how they refer to it in the article, as a crafting discipline.
Yeah, they
Whether it's
haven't
tied-
described it past that.
Yeah, whether it's tied to guild halls only or not, we don't know. But they did
It
refer
is
to it as.
It's a
crafting
guild
discipline.
crafting discipline. Yeah, they refer to it as a guild crafting discipline, so it's something
Well,
you're
they
gonna
also reference in that article as well to individuals who have this discipline. So, like,
It's
it
gonna
makes
be
it
one.
sound like people, it's going to work like the other crafting disciplines. That's what it sounds like, but they haven't
They haven't said you can level it to 500 or whatever. They haven't said the levels work the same way, but they might.
Or that, like, you don't get a third spot, so you could have 3 crafting, or it just takes one of them, or whatever.
Ascended scribe. Bloodstone drapes. Ooh.
Oh, God.
Why not?
Yeah, if we could use bloodstone dust for drapes, I'm in.
Our guild hall is going to be carpeted with bloodstone dust.
Yeah. You won't be able to see the gold.
No, we're not getting the gilded one. No.
There we are.
You got to let it go through the vote.
We're getting it.
Yeah, well, we'll be deciding that throughout, all the way up till launch.
Whatever that is.
Yeah.
Don't have any answer on that one. The war room
2027.
The war room was the next thing they talked about, which it seems more War v World based. It does say it unlocks scribing recipes, but it's strictly for War v World.
I want my tank tonic.
Tank tonic.
I wish we could, because it says in there that you use those for War v World. I wish we could use those char vehicles in the guild hall alone. I don't want mounts, but
I would
have
think
so
it'd
many-
be cool just for costume brawl stuff.
Trust me,
I wanna have races.
I was gonna say, trust me, me and Age were like hoping for this kind of stuff in.
I mean, we might have to troll World v World just to have races. We'll be those people that are like, hey, we're doing our own thing, leave us alone.
That starts to get hairy because that's ruining. Other
Aaron,
people's
you're ruining their
experiences.
game type.
Yeah,
Don't care. F them. I want my races.
we're gonna do donuts in the old Obsidian Sanctum where the guild versus guild thing took place. We're like,
Just do it in Edge of the Mist. No one cares about Edge of the Mist.
but yeah, there's those, and you can also get to an extent a packed airship that will attack like the castle and stuff. Like
I really what was it? The other one, you could rig your the supply depot to explode if somebody else took the objective. That's freaking brilliant.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool
love
things
all these
coming for.
upgrades.
One of the other structures they talked about was the market, which is the finance and mercantilism. This is where we're going to find new guild weapons and armor. And I think I have as the example they showed off. I just took the great swords just so you can kind of compare them easier. And because every profession's going to have them, right? But one's the
armor
shimmering,
looks a
which
lot better
is
than
the
weapons.
one on the left, and the
Tenebras.
Tenebras is on the right. The shimmering one is you can get from the Lost Precipice, and the Tenebras is the one you can get from the Gilded Hollow Guild Hall. So basically, what we're saying is these will be attached to guild halls and which one you pick. So how do you guys feel about that?
Shimmery is better.
I was gonna say everyone's gonna pick the Shimmery.
I really want to know, like, so the artists are usually really great at, like, you know, all the art things, but I really want to know what they were thinking, like.
Yeah. It's like this one's just a better version of the other one.
Like there's got to be some kind of particle effect that we're not seeing on the Tenebras set, because you've got the shimmery glowing rune things on the shimmering set, and then it looks like the Tenebras set is just a matte finish where all the shimmery stuff is on the shimmering set. So there has to be some kind of particle effect we're not seeing here.
I don't know.
And Chad is saying, yes, you can be in more than one guild. Also, they did say in one of the articles, you can switch guild halls. It will remove all decorations, but it saves your progress. So theoretically, you could move between each, but
And
I'm sure there's going to be a cost or something.
Decorations, and I'm assuming the decorations go back into your storage.
Yes,
So
supposedly that's the plan. I'm sure there will be a bug.
it's just our steward will have to replace all of the decorations.
Yes.
I'm just happy to get some more armor with tabards.
Really?
I don't know. Is it just the weapon set, or are they giving?
Well,
like,
I know
sneak
there's going to
peek
be an
stuff?
armor. I know there's an armor set, but I don't know if that is specific to each of them. I think there might just be. There's two versions.
The models in the video are wearing the guild armor.
Yeah, I think they're each wearing them. I think I remember them saying that.
Yeah, but I mean, are there two separate ones for each?
They didn't say anything about that, but
as long as the guild armor this time isn't just plastered with your guild emblem and it's already a model that's in game.
Because before it, right now, if you want a tabard, you have the guild armor, which looks like, awful, and then you have human cultural tier 3 heavy, which is very specific. Otherwise, no tabard for you. Sorry, okay, thanks, bye, lol.
Well, the last thing, the last building you can kind of focus on is the arena, which is PvP focused. They refer to it as a sandbox combat arena, and I think this is where a lot of us are most excited.
Yeah.
I've wanted this since they had the custom arenas for PvP.
I'm just glad we don't have to pay upkeep for a custom arena anymore.
And now we can play Guardian Ball whenever we want.
Yeah.
And all the other stuff I wanted to do.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I think that's when I talked to Colin, he said that it would have a space for your guild to do your events, and I told him about some of the crazy fighting events we do. I was like, if it's something where we can do that, that would be great. So when this was shown, I was like, holy shit.
So what you're saying is GBN.
They were already doing it. They were already doing
No,
it.
he went back that day and was like, he went to the whiteboard and just went, no, we're starting over. I'm sure.
Guys, she told Colin about us. Isn't that
Yeah.
sweet?
He's like, yeah, I heard about
just-
that Aaron guy.
What was it? They have special decorations that are like obstacles and pitfalls and traps and stuff for the.
And I love that you can change the decorations while a fight's going
Right.
on. That's amazing.
It's
Like,
definitely
kind
gonna
of.
be fun.
Is that feature available to anyone, or is it
I
designated?
think you
to
have
one
to give
person?
them
I have to
abilities.
imagine
Like
it's
it's
okay.
coming. I think there's a.
That's
it's literally
cool.
called an architect. What are the? thing-
It's sort
the
of it's.
permissions.
You're essentially the editor of the game at that point.
Yeah.
That's very
that
cool.
map, anyway. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I wouldn't.
You can invite other guilds to come to your guild hall and use that to do fights too. That's amazing.
Are we gonna join a guild league and start rising through the ranks?
Somebody said back in chat, Carnifex was thinking that we'll eventually get into alliances, and that's what they're going to replace servers with in WW.
Well, I was gonna
That'd be
say,
cool.
is it coming with this update or is it coming in hot where they're giving us you can talk in multiple guilds?
With Hot.
Yes.
Okay.
With Hot.
I wasn't
Yeah.
sure, so
You can have
Which-
up to 5. You can have a
Yeah.
guild thing for each of your guilds now.
Which I'm hoping that they're just going to go like /G1/G2.
yeah, I
as
think that's what they
That's
said.
what
And the
they
slash
They
G
said that's
will
what it would
function.
be. Yeah.
/G will still function as the one that you're repping, but you can do /G1/ like you said. But let's move on to, we've got our guild, how we want it, how we like it. Aaron spent countless hours in there. We're worried about him.
Thousands.
Yeah. So let's move on. Let's rebuild our stock and do some missions. Basically, missions are changing. Shocker. A lot of this stuff is changing. Way it's gonna work now, it seems like they no longer cost anything. You can, once you have it, you can access it at any time throughout the week.
Ah,
Let's just ignore that for now.
Oh, no.
no. Worst stream. Won't watch.
I was gonna
Goodbye.
say, FYI, it came up as slow connection. So if something happens to stream, I apologize.
I was gonna say it looks like your connection's having trouble.
Yeah, we've had storms coming through, so
Yeah, the weather's kind of crap up here.
so let's hurry up and get
Speed
through all
on,
this stuff.
quickly.
The way the missions are gonna work is every guild across the whole game will have the same list, and you just can go after it anytime you want. But the nice thing is, the first time your guild does it, it gives that guild the rewards like the favor and whatnot like that. But the nice thing is, it doesn't lock you guys out of it. Like, say if, Group A does it on Sundays, and maybe another group shows up Wednesdays, like, well, we want to do it. They can go do it because it's the same one. Other guilds are probably going to go do it, and they kill let's just say Devious Tisa. And, they defeat her. They will still get their own personal rewards, like the guild commendations, the little chest that we get now. So, I mean, do you guys like this change?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's good.
It's nice when like something happens and like you fail it or somebody misses it that you don't have to worry about being able to queue up another one or not. You can just do it again.
Yeah, no more consumables. Like I was saying, back with the tavern stuff, that's a huge deal. So, and no cost to them too.
They did announce that the guild puzzle and guild challenges will actually now be instanced through this system. Are you guys in favor of this, or mixed feelings?
I'm very happy.
That's probably the best guild missions change they've done.
And honestly, like some of the guild puzzles that we've done, I've really enjoyed them, but we've gotten in with other guilds, so it's one of those things where it's like there have been times where we've succeeded or failed based on the involvement of people not GBN, which it's awesome that you can share some of these experiences, but at the same time it can suck because you're not able to communicate as easily with them, like because we're all on TeamSpeak, they're on their TeamSpeak, and there might be different strategies going on. So
There's
this
also
stuff,
like sometimes you do legitimately have different guilds trying to sabotage other ones because there are
right?
people who
Because
are jerks
there,
out there. So.
exactly. It's the internet. You've got the
Mhm.
internet dickwad theory. So,
I mean,
but
one thing that I'm actually most impressed about, like, I I do like the idea that you can. Now, I probably would have preferred that. I like the dynamic that people can help you, but I just wish they kind of would have said, hey, like guild puzzles, you can accept credit on behalf of your guild, because you could never. I think you could only do it with Snowden Drift. The other ones I think were
we did
bugged or couldn't work, or maybe just none of them at
did the
all. But I
script one,
just
I think,
hmm?
and we accepted. We did the script one for another guild and accepted credit for it, and we've done the Ascalon one, the one in Ashford,
But
on
has it
I
behalf of
think
worked?
my
Because
it's
other.
I
just
Yeah,
swore at halftime
it's
it don't work.
buggy and sometimes it works,
it
sometimes it doesn't.
sometimes, yeah, and sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, and then there's also the what was it, the Quaggan Guild Rush that
Hmm.
you can't
Yeah.
do on somebody else's guild tag. You have to
Which
start it
is
yourself.
weird.
I mean, I do like the change. It is just sad that it kind of has taken that dynamic from the game away. Though,
The whole you should never be up. You should never be disappointed to see another player.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sad that they didn't announce that there will be new guild missions in the post.
Yeah.
I think if there was a post to announce that there'd be new guild missions, it would have been that one. So I think we might not see any new guild missions.
We probably will.
Though
At
this
least
might
for
set
right
up the
now.
framework, because guild challenges, if they're instanced, a lot of them are very much just like a raid boss mechanic. They add more, or just these might be kind of a raid type thing.
Also, since they're instanced now, they have a little more leeway with how they design them, because all of the ones right now are actual physical locations in the game. Now they can just like slap the door somewhere, put a waypoint in front of it, and just have it go off into an instance zone. So they can just kind of slap them in the game, and we don't even
Yeah.
know it until we random it.
But let's move on to the last aspect they talked about, which was which are PvP teams. And basically, it's another new permission. You can form basically sub teams in your guild roster through this team management permission, which by default it says is given to the guild leader, but you can it says when you make these PvP teams, it's a unique name upon creating. The only people that can manage that roster are a team captain, which you can only have one per team, and the whoever has the team's management permission. They also said there's perks for being in a team. Earlier they were talking about like upgrades in the tavern for like entertainment reasons. Like they talked about anthems, like a little musical thing that plays when you capture World v World or do something. They said as an example that anthem could play when your PvP team wins in a PvP match. I mean, how do you like this idea of creating these sub teams?
I'm looking at you, Tavik.
Nah, bring back the team leader rank.
I think
No,
it's
it's a-
really
nominate-
cool.
I nominate Tavik as our PvP team captain.
Why
Yeah,
wouldn't you make H or PVT?
oh, we discovered this the other
PvT.
day because we were in PvP and I was like, oh, Age is our highest ranked guy. And then Tavik and Age squared off, and Tavik is actually our highest ranked guy.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Well, I was gonna say Tavik can be our PvP person because he'll do player versus player. I've seen Age fight, and I agree he should be PvT. He could fight a whole team. I believe in him.
Well,
I was
Age
gonna
is
say,
going.
it
Age is
true.
going to be
Tavik is really
PvT.
good at the water balloons and all of that stuff. So
Age can be TVT, thief versus team.
But see, I've said in the past, I'm not a big PvPer. But what interests me was what it says in there. Guild teams are a platform feature. Right now, they're just PvP, but they would like to eventually use them for other features. like that was what I was thinking. I was like, could I use this outside of PvP? Like, just for organization reasons. Like maybe people want to have a particular raid group for certain things, or have their own subsection, or.
Well, I think like Kameto made a good point about the activities. Being able to do those with like your friends would be fantastic, and like the PvP team could be like the core setup for something they could then move to make that integrate with the activities.
If you could just do those with your friends, the game would have so much more
fun.
social,
like if you could just queue up as a team like you can in PvP.
And that's the thing. I mean, they
it's such a waste that you can't.
They are established in the PvP style, so maybe that, I could definitely see that being a sooner transition to those. I mean, and that would be awesome.
Mhm.
I don't know. I want them to fix the Commander UI. Like not fix. I want there to be a Commander UI.
They need to do something
and then
more
fix it.
Like I want to see, like, I want to know who's in, like, if you form a squad, I want to know who's in the squad. Yeah. I want to be able to see, like, if I join a squad in World v. World, I want to know that there is a squad.
I have to imagine if they're fixing that when they get to the point talking about challenging content and all of that stuff, that's where they would discuss that. So waiting.
That also in challenging content blog post, if that comes, I'm assuming it will, that could be where they announce new guild missions.
Yeah.
It'd be cool.
Especially with this more instanced dynamic for challenge.
Especially if it's a new subsection of guild mission, like a new type.
Yep.
Well, I mean, that content isn't coming till hot, but we do have a lot of hot content coming Tuesday.
Yeah.
And the judges say.
I felt bad about that one.
Yeah. Wait for it.
Was great, Deo.
Basically, Lion's Arch is being rebuilt Tuesday. And like that's the bad thing. All this cool stuff is coming, and they've announced a couple more little details, but it's been overshadowed by the whole, price issue.
Ouch.
1 out of 10. Ouch.
Don't bring that back, Deo. Just move on.
All right. But yeah, Lion's Arch is being rebuilt. The specializations / trait changes, and this is just for core specializations, not elite or anything like that. The combat changes, like the changes to condition damage and all that, whatnot. Wallet changes. And they dropped, Colin Johansson talked about just this week, I think literally yesterday, a way to change ascended armor and weapon stats. I mean,
yay!
If you don't know, he did say that the way to do it would be 10 spirit shards, which are going to be the currency that is changing skill points, that you can use as a currency, not hero points that are used for traits. Because Robin yelled at me last week about that, even though I was say it right to begin with.
Yeah, you were going to do it wrong.
But yeah, 10 spirit shards, the piece of armor or weapons that you don't want anymore, 5 ectos, and an exotic insignia of the stat that you want to convert it to. Now, they haven't stated this to verify it, but since it seems like it's a Mystic Forge recipe, it will give you the new armor. It's probably going to work like the back pieces when you infuse them. You might lose your sigils or runes and any infusions that you have in there. We don't know for sure, but people are speculating that that's probably going to happen.
But on the upside, if that works that way, that means that probably for the weapons, that when you switch it, you'll unlock the new skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just cool.
Actually, I've heard some people were talking about on Twitter that that would be a way to unlock the skins, and some people who've crafted a bunch of the different ones are kind of rubbed the wrong way about that.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Well, that's kind of something that you get with large-scale system changes like this.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, the thing is like, if you're changing the stats on the item and you lose the sigils and whatever that you had on there because it's a whole new item, it would not make any sense at all for you not to get the new skin too. Like that doesn't make sense. It kind of has to work that way, or you don't get the new skin and you keep the sigils and stuff. Like,
why would the skin
there's
changing?
two ways with that.
I was gonna say I'd rather keep the upgrades personally, but
unless I'm missing something, how is the skin changing?
Colors on the weapons.
Yeah, ascended weapons have different colors depending on the stat set.
Way the Mystic Forge works when you infuse back pieces, and this is why you lose the inscriptions and whatnot, is because it basically takes those items as a recipe and generates a new item. It's not literally upgrading your item.
With those weapons, what, do you choose the color when you get the item?
Well, no, the color is dependent on the stat set.
So different stat sets have different colors associated.
Okay.
Yeah, my Celestial Ascended Bow is purple, but Berserker's one is red. Okay. That's how the Ascended things go.
Okay,
I see chat saying, except if that Ascended weapons and armor are coming from a world boss. Did they confirm that? Because I know a lot of people were excited about the Tequatl. Like, you'll actually get
I don't know.
I did not see if they said that, but just so people know, in chat they were asking earlier about salvaging Ascended rings, which they did say that there is something coming for that, but it's not happening this time around.
It's only weapons and armor. It's not the other things too. I hear a crying dog.
Oh,
I was just wondering if you guys could hear it.
That was just a chair. I will actually be right back. Give me 1 second.
Oh, well, half the group can't leave. Okay.
Half the group? When did you learn to count?
Well, no,
Dale wants to silence his dog.
Well, don't say it like that. Jeez.
That does sound pretty final.
Yeah.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Well, also an interesting thing, possibly, and I use this very, strongly, possibly we might get the personal story changes. Might. All we got was, we're saying people were asking for an update, and they were asking for an update on it, and they said, oh, I guess it's not coming in this update.
So when they announced those, I don't know how long ago that was. I want to say April or early May. But they said it would be at least 8 weeks from when they announced that to when we'd be getting them. So I don't know.
And I think the last update before that, they said that they were still like testing things, and he replied back, and they just said that there's no official notes yet, so they're leaving it very open. Like, they're not saying yes, they're not saying no, but
we do.
It could be a nice surprise.
I'm planning for them, but yeah.
And another possibility that's coming, it seems a little more concrete, is the Dragonite Ore Consumer, something we've all probably been waiting for because we had the Bloodstone.
Imperial Star.
The Imperial Fragments. So
the item is called an Imperial Star.
But someone was asking about that, and Colin Johansson replied, this will be coming very soon. Keep an eye on Lion's Arch. I'm trying to quote it as best as possible.
It's
shout out.
Ha ha ha.
Okay,
there's a
Go fuck yourself.
Clearly, Deo's never done an evil laugh.
Yeah,
I'm too good. I'm too good. But he also said shout out to Alex for his hard work. But are you guys happy that we're getting that?
They give you crappy stuff, so I don't care about them.
It's better than having It's better than having Bloodstone Dust or Imperial Fragments just sitting in my inventory.
Yep.
It's easier to just delete it.
Of course, it's easier just to delete
it. But at this point, I'm actually turning it into money. I've gotten exotics out of it.
It's not worth my time to go to the bank and use it. Like, I'm not going to remember to do that.
It sits in my inventory on my Elementalist, which is my main, so I just ferry all of the stuff to him, and then I just delete it.
See, with the amount of time loading screens take, though, that's like a 20-minute endeavor to ferry things from all my characters.
That's
Don't
you.
do that.
That's all you.
I love that. That's you.
It is. That's why I don't use them, because
I
it
have
takes
Guild
too
Wars 2
freaking
installed on
long.
an SSD.
I mean, I think it's great that we're gonna finally have our third thing, and maybe now they're probably releasing, going, yes, I don't have to hear it anymore. I'll be right back.
I don't know. I had a whole bunch of Dragonite back when I was doing Silver Waste, and now I'm just like, I finally delete. I had like, no joke, I had like 60 or 70,000 of it, and I
Yeah.
finally just deleted all of it because I was like, I'm not saving this.
I
And
finally
yeah.
did too.
And it's like, yeah, you can now consume it, but if you think you're gonna get through your backlog, no, you're not, because guess what? There's a daily cap on that too.
Yeah,
So
there's a time gate on that.
yeah, chances are you're not going to be making it through that.
It's
backlog.
really stupid that has a time gate. Like, I don't understand that. It doesn't make
It is
sense.
stupid. Yeah,
Because it's not like the material you're destroying is account bound. So it's not like you can get more from crazy ways or something. You still have to do whatever you normally do to get it. Like, it's just, it's very stupid that has a time gate.
I'm really hoping that all of the Ascended materials will have more use whenever things like finally come through with this.
And to everyone who's super smug about having hoarded all the Dragonite, I had inventory space for months. Yeah, and it's worth it. It was really nice.
I don't know, like I don't have a problem with inventory space despite all the then again, I'm not, I wasn't hitting the Silver Waste chest runs like you were.
Yeah,
so,
it's absurd how much Dragonite you get from those.
Like, didn't you say you had something like 4,000 obsidian shards?
I have 2,000. I have like 2,200 obsidian shards.
Wow.
Yeah,
Why do you have
it's
so many obsidian shards?
because you get them from
Get 'em
Silver
out of
Waste
chests.
chests. Yeah.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
hmm
That
So
was-
I'm
Like, honestly,
all set for
cutting through-
legendaries.
Yeah.
Cutting through my my Imperial fragments and my Bloodstone Tusk, I've gotten a lot of crafting materials. I've gotten a lot of money out of it. So it's not because it's like a green, a gray, and something random. I've gotten exotics out of Maudry.
Yeah, you can
So-
get lodestones and exotics, but it's rare.
It is rare, but it's one of those things where it's like you're going to delete it otherwise. So why not make something out of it?
Because it takes time.
Aaron's
And
only interested in the amount of time something takes.
Hey, you're the one that speed runs all the dungeons. I don't do that.
Well,
Yes, I remember hearing the chagrin in your voice during a run where I'm like, what is this, a speed run?
And Arlie's always like, why are you guys killing that stuff? Come on.
well, like, you don't need to. Like, just
Well,
go
See, exactly.
I leave for 2 seconds and it goes all to.
Oh, it's not
Um,
anarchy. Yet.
But let's.
Flip tables!
Carnifex says he has all the time in the world. You're gonna die one day.
Don't be a
Jeez.
jerk.
Wow.
Get out.
I mean, okay, that's.
That was,
But we're all
You
gonna
don't
die
know
one
if
day.
You could be a vampire and live forever.
And be
I
sparkling.
mean, I guess that's a possibility, but I'm gonna call bullshit.
Anyways, Dale,
All
what are we
right,
talking
well-
about next?
Man, how do I segue out of that abyss? Oh,
Hey, don't
carefully.
make claims that aren't true.
man. Aaron's
Wow.
bringing the darkness.
What's so dark about that? It's a true fact. Everyone dies.
Let's lighten the mood a little bit. Let's
Just
lighten the
because
mood a little.
True doesn't mean it's not dark.
Yeah,
Okay,
Aaron,
we're
did
lightening
you-
the mood. Deo,
You-
please continue.
Yeah, I mean, geez, Aaron, did you crawl out from under a rock?
Ha, 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 ha.
Yay!
Oh my
I like the
God.
moment there where Aaron had that little thing like, "Are you inside?" Oh, he's using me as a segue.
Yeah.
But probably the most overshadowed thing this week is the gem store items with all the all the information that came out. And basically they told us about the gem store items, which One is a nice little mini.
I don't know. That's a mini rock. It's just a little rock.
Well, it's a miniature of a rock, so it's kind of a pebble. But it's 350 gems. See, apparently, if I insult you, Aaron, while I do it, I get a little higher of a score. But good to know. I mean, what do you guys think of the mini rock?
I love it.
Pick it up?
It's not a waste of money because it has eyes that do an eye thing. So if it was just
eyes that do an eye thing.
Yeah, if it was just a rock, it would be a waste of money. But since it's got some eyes,
cool because like it literally will hop along after you. It's just like hilarious.
It has mobility and more than one like part to it, so I'd say it's fine.
Yeah.
It's better than the pet rocks of what, the 80s?
Yeah.
Was that the 80s?
I think it's come back every decade. It's been like 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. They always come back. I don't know why.
Rocks.
I mean, I know Arlie, or I know Robin bought one. Did anyone else?
No.
I know a lot of people in our guild did, or a couple, because they were following me around yesterday with them.
That's a great idea.
I don't hate them as much as Quaggin, so it's.
We can do both. I can use this Quaggin tonic and have my pet rock and run around after you.
And then you can send him mail.
But I mean, there was another thing in the gem store today, or Tuesday. It came out. It was the Revenant mail carrier.
I roll.
So I'm taking it. You're getting it?
No.
Aaron's like, this is the one. This is the one I'm getting.
I told you, when there's a full-size Zaitan mail carrier, I will buy it.
And this one is also 350 gems as well, but.
Like, when I can have Zaitan wipe out Lion's Arch to deliver my mail, I'll buy it.
Zaitan's dead, duh.
Oh.
So is Drubert.
I know, but I'm not lobbying to have him come back.
I don't know, like it.
Me neither, Arlie. I don't want Drubert coming back
kinds
either. I'm glad we're on the same page about these
all
quads.
kinds of movies and stuff. Like the fact that we had to be told that Zaitan's dead is really unsatisfying.
Well, I mean, they didn't show us a body. If we're going, yeah.
It was one of those things where the devs actually came out on the forums and were like, yeah, guys, he's dead.
It's not comic book logic here. He's dead. We're good.
Well, no, like literally from soap operas to TV shows, anime, movies, whatever, if you don't see a body, there is no guarantee that they're dead.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have a medical professional sitting there telling you, hey, he's dead, and even then it doesn't work because look at Nick Fury.
But that's based on a comic book, so that's,
Well, he said comic book logic. Like,
I'm still holding out for the Hound in Game of Thrones, I believe.
Actually, there's all right, no, let's not.
No, we're not going there. We're not going there.
Let's not anger the internet. But I mean, overall, with all of E3 Guild Wars 2 wise, are you happy with what came out of E3 and the week?
If I'm limiting everything to just Guild Wars 2, then this is absolutely fantastic. Guild ArenaNet's showing at E3 completely overshadows any complaints I have about E3 itself. So,
yeah, what a way to make a return.
This was ArenaNet's best week this whole year after the expansion announcement. So
yeah, it was great.
And I mean, I kind of forgot to say about. Go back and watch the other shows. How right was I?
Oh, shut up.
About what?
Well, basically everything, but if you want to be specific.
And that it was going to be pre-purchases and guild halls and all that.
Yeah, but everybody knew that.
Yeah, but everybody didn't think they were going to E3.
For sure. And going to E3 at all.
Except for this guy.
I'm pretty sure we all said they could go and they could not go.
But
Guys,
I
We're
was
saying
like,
they were
they're
going to
going.
go.
Don't feed John's narcissism, guys.
Too late.
Uh,
Too late.
but
Probably
yep,
should have
that
made him guild leader then.
true. I am going to
To be
touch
fair,
that crystal.
we had no hand in that.
really?
I will be
thought
the
it was
one
an
to lay my
officer
hand on that
decision.
crystal and
No.
bring the guild hall to us.
Crystal booping privileges.
But Jim, where can you be found?
I can be found on Twitter at MalthanusMMO.
I was reading chat and I was a little saddened by that.
I was laughing.
Arlie or Robin, where can you be found?
And Twitter at Arlie82 and Twitch Arlie82 and MMOArlie.com and Gamebreaker TV. Yay!
See, I feel really bad knowing that I've got like the one Twitter thing, and then Arlie's just like, I've got this and this.
And Aaron, where can you be found on the internet?
Guildmag.com. There's words in the English language that I put there. And at Guild Wars Monk on Twitter.
He does words good.
Yeah.
Real good.
A top good sometimes.
And you can
Well,
find
what
me
about
at
your-
simply_Deo on Twitter, Twitch. Oh, I'll stream. I wanted to
Eventually.
this week, but E3 is tiring. But
I
you can
stir.
find
You
Huh?
think E3's tiring? Seriously?
before
Well, if
Robin
he
kills
finds
me.
it tiring, how are you even on the show?
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you want to see Robin kill me in game, probably head on over to GameBreakerNation.com, where not just the Guild Wars 2 Guild, we have World of Warcraft, Elder Scrolls Online, Final Fantasy. They had their early access for their expansion. I've seen loads of people up in that channel, and we just keep growing with gamers like you. So definitely head on over, check us out. If you want to follow Talking Skritt, we have a YouTube channel. Just search for Talking Skritt. And if you're watching the VOD, make sure to tune in live at twitch.tv/TalkingSkrit. And as always, we game. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.